Hey YouTube, how's it going? So I've been working on the boat, but it's been a bit of a heat wave here in BC, so I haven't got a whole lot done. But let's get to business here. Here you see the helm unit installed now. You're going to see a lot of test fitting and pieces coming and going. It's just because I'm trying to figure out the setup and layout of things like seats and helms and steering, and so we move on to the heater fuel tank. So I put a diesel heater in the boat, and this is the fuel tank. Now I'm going to show you kind of how it's mounted, but I've got some supports in behind, and in the last video I showed you building the box. So I used some hockey pucks that I had and bolted them on, so that way in behind the tank there's these cutouts, and they fit perfectly in with the hockey puck. I had to do some grinding on them, but it worked out really well. I've got the door in the bulkhead cut and fitted. So I've got a nice piano hinge, stainless steel piano hinge holding it on. Put it on, fit great. Had to do a few in and outs to get it adjusted. But then I pulled it all out again and fiberglassed it. So here you can see the glass being laid down. I did both sides, trimmed it up, and put it back in the boat, hopefully for the final time. Threw some paint on the fuel tank mount, and it turned out really well. It's solid. I've glassed it to the hull of the boat, and covered it in the Seattle gray. I didn't like everything being the same gray, so I actually painted the pods with Kingston gray. So it's hard to tell in this picture, but you'll see later that the door I did in Kingston gray for some contrast as well. Here's the diesel heater. My dad actually did a lot of this work and wiring it and setting it up. We still have the exhaust pipe. I'm running into some issues. It's just how to set up the exhaust, but I think in the next video I'll have that figured out. So here's a better example of the Kingston gray versus the Seattle gray, and I kind of like the offset having the door a little different shade. And I put a decal on the door, just the compass to always show you where north is, and I don't know, I like the gimmicky stuff, so put that on. Again, breaks things up a little bit instead of having just solid colors. Here is when I cut out the old floor in the boat, there were some side pieces left over. So I trimmed them up nice and even, and then glassed in an enclosure, so they're now boxed in, and that'll keep them a little more solid. I'm going to actually put foam in behind it to strengthen it quite a bit, and it'll add some rigidity. The boat is built like a proverbial brick shit house. 3/4 inch plywood on the floor, 2 layers of glass with epoxy. So I'm happy with the way everything is turning out. So that's the boat. You can see the anchor locker door I've taken back off. I will put it on later again. My neighbor called and said, "Hey, want to go fishing?" And for me, I'll never say no to fishing. And so we headed off just the off Neck Point, which is in Nanaimo, and it's called Clark Rock. Put the gear out, had a really good day. Lots of fish, a lot of undersized fish. So in BC, we have a bracket that they have to be in. It's 60 centimeters to 82 centimeters. So if they fall in that bracket, you can keep them. If not, you got to let them go. So we did a lot of letting go, a lot of fish in that 55 to 57 centimeter range. But while we're fishing, you know what? You always got to have some smokies. So we brought out the barbecue, fired up some smokies while we were trolling, and enjoyed a pretty good meal. Evening fishing is some of the best. So, and it paid off. We got some fish in the boat. Our limit in BC is 1 fish right now, so we're allowed 1 each. So I didn't show it in this picture, but we did end up with 2, so we got our 1 each. And here's mine on the cutting board, ready to fillet, and then we'll freezer wrap it and have fish for the next couple months. Anyways, YouTube, thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful evening.